we felt safe enough to do that. That's a whole other conversation.
What?
Um,
Wait, hold on, Vic. Hold on.
How you
yes.
how you just speed right by that detail? All right.
Well, because this isn't The
Another
Last of Us.
conversation. What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Boarding Pass. I am your pilot, Denzel Whitaker, joined by
Your co-pilot, Jayden Choi.
we in the Inspo Lounge, man. This is a late cruise for us.
Yeah, it is for us. Yeah, I mean, for me, even later.
I know, man. How's it looking on your side over there, huh? You nice and cozy?
Yeah, I like being in the evening time. This is not even evening, it's almost midnight. And I like staying up at the midnight, kind of getting all that, emotions. And, the emotions tend to kick in later in the nighttime.
Emotions. Wow,
Yeah.
what a key word. You're sticking with that today, aren't you?
I am. You see a lot of emotions on my hat too, huh?
I do. I was gonna comment on that. What is that? What type of hat is that?
It's an LA Dodgers hat. On the back, it just has a Dodger sign on it. And just a little hearts.
You're bringing a lot of love to the session today. We've never done this before. We've never had 3 guests in the Inspo Lounge before.
3. Can you guys imagine?
Right? This is gonna be great, man. Do we want to just jump right in? Because I feel like why even waste the time between you and I, Chad? We're not even the most interesting people of today's episode. Go for it, brother. Introduce them.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, the name. Well, we have names, but we are gonna introduce them as a group first, called Femme Lens, and the co-founders their names are Brenda Hernández, Jennifer Bravo, and Jocelyn Glenn. Their nationalities are all first-generation USA Americans with Central American roots. How exciting, aren't they, huh? And here comes a fun fact. Denzel, there's a little connection with you, actually. Let me give you this.
With me?
One of
What'd I
our
do?
guests actually interviewed our pilot, Denzel Whitaker, back in 2024. And if that doesn't ring your bell, take a look
Oh
at
my
this.
god. Wait, hold on. When did this happen?
Christmas won't be the same if ...
Truthfully, Christmas wouldn't be the same without my mother. She is the glue of the family, brings us all together.
Does that ring a
She's
bell?
the cook of the family.
Yo.
So really, it's kind of like everything
This is crazy.
centers around her.
Yeah,
She
for
is
too
the
many
true
Christmases.
matriarch of our entire family.
That does ring a bell. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
wild.
I'm
That's very
excited to
wild.
bring them here. Let's talk about this. Why not, huh?
Oh my God! Bring them to the stage, Brenda, Jennifer, Josslyn. Come on in.
Woo!
Now y'all just gonna hide that fact from me. Y'all couldn't even give me that in the pre-show. I see how it is.
Surprise.
That's amazing, Josslyn. You ain't say nothing.
I was instructed not to, but yeah, for those who don't know, Too Many Christmases, it's not quite Christmas time right now, but if you feel up to it, it's on BET Plus, starring Denzel Whitaker here, our host, and directed by Kenny Young.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that. We ain't even here plugging my shows and things, but let's talk about y'all. Welcome. Thank you for joining us in the Inspo Lounge. How are y'all feeling? How's the film doing today?
Amazing. Thank you so much for having us.
Of course, of course. No, it's a pleasure. But let's see. Let's get right into it. I want to know each individual artistic journey. You're all ladies of the arts, right? What led you to this moment? What lights the passion and sets your heart on fire? We'll start with our president, Brenda.
Hi everyone. That's a deep question. What lights my fire? Honestly, I at a very young age, I took a liking to certain things in the arts, but being first generation, it wasn't something that was really, pushed. It was just kind of like acknowledged. I was like, oh, cool, like, she's into this. I remember taking my first photo, and it was actually my dad. And he's the one who got me into the camcorders and all that fun stuff. And it wasn't until I was 15 years old in Cleveland High School that I was offered to join the Media Academy. That's where I met Miss Evelyn Subert. And from there, honestly, it's just been a journey of going through a lot of creative hurdles from graphic design back to film, and now with a film collective nonprofit.
Impressive. Amazing. Amazing.
Amazing. I love that.
All right. Popcorn. Let's go. Vice President Jennifer, come on down.
Hi guys. Yes, I guess my journey has been all over the place because I went to school for journalism And the reason why I went to school for journalism was because my parents told me that getting a theater degree would get me nowhere. So that I should get a real degree. And that was their real degree for me. I worked at a TV station. It was a Spanish TV station and I hated it. Not because of them, it was in my passion. I went back to my actual roots and I went back to my acting, and that's what actually made me move to LA. I'm originally from Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been here for 4 years and I love it. I'm grateful for my journey because if I wouldn't have moved here, pursued my passion for acting, I wouldn't have met these beautiful ladies and I wouldn't have started this amazing nonprofit with them and joined the journey. So I'm very blessed. I'm happy to be here and I just can't wait for what's next. Mhm.
beautiful.
Amazing. Amazing. And Madam Treasurer, Jocelyn Glenn, tell us, please, what led you to your artistic journey?
For me, I have a lot of siblings, and we grew up watching In Living Color, for if you know, you know. But we grew up loving it. And so more than Saturday Night Live, and if we liked Saturday Night Live, it was because of Eddie Murphy or Adam Sandler, and that's basically it. But we would write little sketches and we would do something with that, and I think I took it a little bit more seriously, and eventually I also found myself in journalism. I somehow swindled my way into getting into UCLA as a theater major, which was very competitive. It was like a 1% acceptance rate. I had no theater background. Funny enough, it's a whole other story. And I became a math teacher. And then somehow I ended up producing about 30 movies, just about meeting, the most of which actually brought me to these ladies right here. And yeah, I think being able to be in community with women is actually what strives. It's the through line between all of us, and it's something that we strive to continue doing in the future.
You know what? From what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, it's you all took the path not really chosen by your family, right? Do you mind just kind of going around the table and maybe just describing your experiences and what basically have kept you motivated?
Yeah, it's tough. I feel like for so long I was waiting for someone to be excited for me or proud of me or acknowledge what I was doing. And that was like my family. But in reality, what I needed to acknowledge was myself. And once I realized that, that's when something clicked and I was like, I can do this for me. I don't need any validation from anyone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else want to jump in on that? Because I have a follow-up question.
Yeah, I think, I mean, for me, it's just like I kind of go back to my dad and, one day him deciding like things were really tough in Honduras and making that journey, to the States. And he literally was just like, I'm gonna buy 5 cows and head back. He's like, things changed when you were born. I always kind of say like we're definitely living our ancestors' like wildest dreams. I don't think they imagined this for us. I don't think that they thought that women could be at this like, level. And I think that for some reason my dad was tasked with having 3 girls and raising them and just figuring out like, oh, this is this is gonna be different. And I am so grateful for him because in a first gen family, he was always one to support me and just be like, maybe I don't get it, but like, do your thing. And I've made him really proud in different capacities. So just being able to just reflect back and be like, wow, like he did so much to get here and for me to have privileges and also to be able to give back to, the town that he's from. I'm so blessed.
It's really great that you acknowledge that and you're grateful for that too, because like a lot of people have privileges and that some people don't acknowledge that. Like they're like, yeah, this is what I deserve, but like you take that in and you're appreciating
Mhm.
it, and that's the biggest part of it too. I like
Yeah, and
that.
I think it's so important too,
Yeah,
especially coming from first gen families.
yeah. Coming from an Asian family too, like I could
Mhm.
completely relate that for sure.
Yeah.
Jocelyn, how you feeling about it?
I get to sit back and be in the shadow of my many other siblings. I'm the youngest of seven. Fortunately, I feel like because of that, there were no expectations put on me. And at the same time, it gave me an opportunity to be more rebellious and to not follow any of the rules. In fact, to break them, to always challenge authority. And coming from a Black and brown household, it's, like I understood the risks that went behind that. But I think I also have I grew up with a Chicano sensibility that we call like rasguachismo. So my mom's side of the family is Mexican and my dad's side of the family comes from Belize. And so my dad immigrated here from a young age. And so growing up with, being mixed generation, but also growing up in a matriarchy where I grew up with such strong, present women, probably a lot stronger than the men in a lot of ways. It bred a lot of room for me to think outside the box. And when it came time for me to actually do all the many things my family did, they couldn't process the things that they've never seen before. And it was just me and my little rebellion being like, well, watch me. I can do it all. And somehow I've managed to do it all. And having just turned 30, I like to think that I've produced nearly 30 movies. I've written a book. I've been a journalist. I was, becoming a math teacher. And, a lot of people can't say that they've even done that, let alone, some of my siblings may not even know what they want to do. And for me, I was very decisive, and not everybody, I think a big lesson behind that, not everybody will trust the process or understand it. And you don't need to translate it for anybody. And you don't need to make it digestible for them to understand.
Period. Cheers to that.
Yeah. Hey, hold on. But speaking of your past experience, I'm glad you brought this up. You had a production fellowship with Netflix, correct?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Do you mind just elaborating on that and how that sort of has shaped your journey? Like, what was your takeaways from that experience?
Right. The takeaways is that there could be a set that's very intentional with the crew that they bring on. And it's something that I've been very intentional. The fellowship, it gave me an opportunity to even start fellowships for my own productions, where we give a stipend and we assign emerging filmmakers with a professional crew member to learn and grow in that field. And a stipend is not much, but the intentionality of the process, giving access and opportunity to people who ordinarily would not have them. Not all of us grew up Nepo babies, and that's okay. We just have to find our foot in the door somehow. The production in question was called Disclosure, which is on Netflix. And that film, yeah, it's if anybody has seen Baby Reindeer, what I like to say is Nava Mao, who was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for her role as Terry in Baby Reindeer. She was one of the other fellows on this production. And it, as a documentary, it really, I mean, even as a journalist, I could see all the dedication and research that went into it, the care that went into the interview questions. And I think there's a level of like practice and best practices that go, for anybody. And I've had my own set of personal assistants that have come, as I've grown in my career, where I hire them for a month, I give them a stipend. They're recent grads or like still in school. And I am very tough love with them. Like my parents were very tough love with me. And I'm like, I'm very hard on you. I'm going to teach you to do everything to make yourself as marketable as possible because you can't afford to not do these things. And for me, as a little rebellious thing, a little Section 8 kid, I couldn't afford to not make things work. So, from doing lighting to swindling them onto a production that they're not qualified for, to giving them a letter of recommendation, to teaching them how to best use IMDb Pro and LinkedIn and public resources to find people's emails so that they can cold email them and swindle that. No, I'm just kidding. To get an opportunity with them. So that's what I've been able to take away from this is just like being more resourceful and sharing that knowledge rather than gatekeeping it.
Ladies, I just got to say, we are already such big fans of your organization. Just within our research, learning about you prior to hosting this interview. But for our viewers, for our listeners, can you just give us a short, concise, detailed synopsis about what Femme Lens is all about? You want to take it, Brenda?
Yeah, so Femme Lens is a femme-led, non-binary led collective creating intentional spaces where filmmakers and content creators can learn, collaborate, and thrive. Our mission is basically to reshape the film space and all these creative communities by centering access, community, and sustainable creative practices.
Jennifer, I actually had a question for you too, because it's coming from my own personal question as well. Because background wise, like interestingly, we're all people of color here who are also working in the industry of entertainment, and you know, especially you are. You said you've been an actor for quite a couple of years right now. How many
Yeah.
years is it?
A little over 8 years.
8. Wow,
Hmm.
great. I love that.
But
And
I moved to LA 4 years.
4 years
It's
ago.
about to be 4 years. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, wow. Like I kind of relate to that in a way because, you know, in the industry of entertainment right now, people of color is growing definitely, which is great. You know, I see much more Asian actors these days compared to the before, and I also see a lot of Hispanic actors and actresses making out in the industry, which is fascinating to see. And just like from your point of view, working in that industry, like what was your experience like? How easy was it, let's say?
Yeah, I feel like it's not easy all the time. You know what I mean? There is only 5% of Latinos that are in the industry, and I feel like the number needs to grow and needs to get higher. I feel like I am always put in a box when it comes to roles, and it kind of sucks because I know I am talented and I know that I have a lot to give, but I'm just not given that opportunity. And sometimes I just feel like it's not fair. So yeah, it's not easy, but it's not gonna make me quit. I've been here for 8 years. I'm not going anywhere, and if they're not giving me an opportunity, I'm gonna make an opportunity for myself.
Question for you, and this is really going to lead into kind of how ladies you've all assembled like Voltron. Jennifer, there was an actress. We don't cast names on this because we never want to shed negative light on anybody else. But there was an actress maybe within the last few years who was basically describing that she had a hard time because the industry kind of boxed her in, similar to what you were saying. And they know her for a certain quality that she possesses, or maybe like, you know, accent, cultural backgrounds, whatever it may be. So that's all they really wanted from her. And she wanted to play different roles. You know, she wanted to be like a doctor or, you know, a lawyer, different things like that, and found that hard to break into those roles. Can you maybe talk about, like, if you have those similar challenges, what can you do to empower yourself and how that's maybe led to your journey that you find yourself in now?
I guess for my journey, because I'm not a name in the industry, I really have to work hard. I have to make sure that I am taking classes as much as I can. I'm surrounding myself with creative people. If I'm not booking jobs right now, I need to get with my collective ladies and creative people and try to make something happen. Because, like I said, if I'm not being seen or casted in anything, I have to put myself out there. If I don't put myself out there, then no one's gonna know who Jennifer Bravo is. You know what I mean? So it's just putting yourself out there, no matter what, no matter all the no's, no matter the negative circumstances, putting yourself out there and just making yourself better each and every day and just working your ass off.
Talk to me about Femme Lens. Just how did y'all assemble? How did this group come together? What do you stand for?
Yeah, so essentially, after a film festival, I was just kind of like, oh, it's so inspiring watching all these filmmakers create their films with these micro budgets, and they're amazing films. And I was like, you know what? Like, I had been told by a producer, hey, you need like $5,000 to create this short that I presented. And I was like, I'm not gonna drop $5,000 right now. That's a lot of money. So I essentially brought together a group of girls, and I was like, hey, tell your friends, tell your other friends, tell your cousin. Funny enough, we did have cousins on the set. But essentially I pitched the story to these girls, and I was just like, if you guys work on my film, I promise to work on yours. And so many people were on board, and we were able to have a 20 all femme crew, and it was so magical. And we shot in June 2025, and after that people were like, hey, we want more, we want. And from there it was just a happy accident, and we're like, okay, well, let's give community what community is asking for, and it's creating these spaces that are just essential for femme and non-binary filmmakers and content creators. And honestly, it's just been ever since then, it's just been a whole amazing experience with these ladies and creating a board and creating a nonprofit and creating events that are accessible to, because it's expensive out there. So Buenos Modales is like a 1950s instructional video, and it's narrated in Spanish. And essentially, it's telling you how to be a perfect housewife
Oh, interesting.
with a little twist at the end.
Oh, the little twist.
I should note that it was recognized, Buenos Modales was recognized by a councilwoman, right? And actually behind Brenda, there's that little LA County
Oh yeah,
recognition.
that one right
Oh,
there.
Wow, that's impressive. What does it say on the plaque?
So it's recognizing us, Council District 6 in the Van Nuys area, essentially recognizing us for our efforts as, first generation femme collective that is filming and creating accessible events and such. And yeah, it was a really an amazing recognition. They were so sweet and they recognized the entire crew, and it was wow.
congratulations. I love that.
That's impressive.
That's
That's amazing.
great.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, what was the experience like? Because I understand all three of you worked together on the film Buenos Modales, right? What individual skills did we bring to the table, huh?
That Josslyn can work an outfit, wear heels, and be on it the entire damn time. How does she do it? I have no idea. Insane.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
She's a phenomenal producer, and with Jennifer, I actually casted her as the lead. And kind of going back to representation, for me, it was really important to see someone, of similar, complexion. And I didn't get to see a lot of that in media growing up. And I have also like Afro and Indigenous background and things that you don't really see on TV. And when you are seen on TV, it's usually as the help, In creating this, I was given the option to go with, like, oh, like, we can go with this girl. She's really, pretty and everything. And I was just like, no, I need a curvy girl. Like, I need a girl that looks like, like to be me. Like, I want to see that on screen.
And it gave an opportunity for women and femmes who perhaps are not an expert in a certain role to take on a department head role that they wouldn't normally do. And I mean, where do you ever see that? Also, we tried breast milk on set. We felt safe enough to do that. That's a whole other conversation. Um,
Hold on, sis. Hold on.
yes.
How you just speed right by that detail? All right.
Well, because this isn't The
Another
Last of Us.
conversation.
This is not well, not The Last of Us. It ends with us, right? Well, we actually felt very safe with each other, very comforted. And I think it's men that create this narrative that women are, catty and that we don't work well together and that we're competitive with each other. And for this, it's actually we are a lot more efficient because we think alike. And where we don't think alike, that's where our strengths lie. And ultimately, it boosted us in a 12 hour shoot. That is, is it changing the industry at large? Maybe not, but it changed the collective consciousness, right? That if you can consider a set with all women and what that might look like, we did it. It happened. And now we can use that as a point of reference so that we can change all of us, the 30 plus women who came together on the many other sets that we will continue to work on, can use that as a point of reference to change the industry at large.
I think it more so lies with the spirit of the individuals and the collective thinking coming together. You know what I mean? And defying those stereotypes, real rap. Like, yes, there is that generalization, but that's the whole point of like us going out and doing the thing is defying these generalizations. So shout out to you guys for literally putting that together and just being a defining hallmark example of that. That's amazing. And somehow you end up with a breast milk story. No,
I would I would like
Pause.
to add that adding to that, we did have three moms on set that were moms of they were less than a year old. So having that space for them to be there and be a part of it without, compromising their children and being able to get away for that time and being understanding, whether they were there for 4 hours or 6 hours. It just, they absolutely loved it. And it just felt beautiful to, have an inclusive space.
Including with menstrual products too, that we had a menstrual product kit with pads, tampons, and even hair ties, and for a project that has women in mind, where women are the majority, maybe there are some other sets where they're like, maybe nobody thinks about that, right? There was a camera house in Culver City called Bicine, which was a Latino-owned camera house owned by Bianca. I'm forgetting her last name. I think it just went out of business, actually, unfortunately, but it was actually a man that changed Bianca's perspective. I think he was a single father and he's a camera operator and he had to prep his camera for a shoot. And he's like, well, I have to, I have my son or my daughter to take care of, and there's nobody else that can look after him. And Bianca's like, well, we can here, it's a women-run company. We could just do daycare for any camera operators or DPs. And for a service like that and to have thrived and then to go out of business, there is a market for women being in this industry, yet we're so often overlooked in terms of I mean, just prioritizing women in general.
It's so wild to me. It's so I say this with all the love and compassion that I have to give. It's like I was raised by such strong women in my family, and the thoughtfulness. I tell you, men ain't that thoughtful. To all the men listeners and viewers out there, we're just simply not that thoughtful. Like you said, the products that are on set, you walk into a woman's bathroom, it's got everything in there, all the essentials. There was never a time I wasn't with my mom and she didn't have the essentials. You know what I mean? So like to hear about that experience, with that camera operator or whatnot, and there's a viable business, there is just the thoughtfulness that sometimes doesn't come to mind. And it's a damn shame. It truly is a damn shame. I just want to put that out there to anybody viewing or watching. Have some women on your squad. I've shot 2 projects right now where all of my head of departments, my department heads, excuse me, were all women, and it was such a life changing experience. So this is fascinating. Can you just talk about the mission of Les Femme Lens for me, please? If there's anything that I might have missed, or just like a short, summarization for our audience. Is there like a mandated mission that you can say?
Yeah, this is a nonprofit dedicated to femmes and non-binary people who are in any level within entertainment and media. They can be content creators, they can be in any department. And we offer programs and wellness and workshops for them to thrive, like career development. We try to reach them in different areas, whether it's camera, fundraising, self-tapes for acting, writing workshops, the whole thing. And I'll throw it back to Brenda because she says that what she wants is that in the future, La Femme Lens is no longer needed. Brenda, if you want to continue that thought.
Why? Yeah.
I'm gonna take it back to one of my favorite nonprofits, Girl Gang Crazy. Like shout out Mariah Tyson, she's so amazing. And one day she posted a video, and I was like, wow, this is so true. And the purpose of nonprofits and creating them, and it's because they're spaces that are needed. And essentially, hopefully one day it's not needed because it becomes a norm. So for us, it's just like, I hope one day La Femme Lens is non-existent. And it is non-existent because it becomes an industry norm to, have more women on set and treat them respectfully, have safer sets and sets that are inclusive and mindful of, women are on their periods and they're working, and those are really tough, situations to be going through, but it's just been so normalized in society where it's just like, just deal with it, go through it. And no, we want the norm to change. And hopefully when that day comes, that's when La Femme Lens is no longer a thing.
Let me ask you something. Okay. What impact, long lasting impact, do you guys hope to have?
It's so funny because Josslyn asked me this question last night.
Ooh, okay.
Really?
Current topics.
Yes, and she said, what do you see like in the next 5 years? And I was like, wow,
Yeah, talk to us.
I haven't thought that, but I hope that we are able to, provide grants and provide more accessible resources for filmmakers and content creators. Something we do say with La Femme Lens is that yes, it is catered to femme and non-binary filmmakers and content creators, but we do need male allies, and having them, being part of the support is so important.
You have two allies here, right here.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's my
Definitely,
president.
Definitely. And as an ally, I'm glad you answered that question, because anybody who may be watching or viewing this, listen, they want to get in contact with you. They want to help. So, whatever that 5-year mission may be, you never know who may be listening or watching right now, who's going to be picking up that phone. And if you are, pick up the damn phone, send that text message, get in touch with them. I understand, of course, with this being an IYMS podcast, boarding passes, you guys are trying to get a team of 8 out to the International Youth Media Summit. Is that correct?
Why, yes.
Okay. Coming up in Paris. Can you tell us about that journey? How's that going? How are you going to make it happen?
It would be the first all Latina cohort to go to the IYMS Summit.
Let's
Word.
go.
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
So we're super excited. We've been very passionate to start this. We've started fundraisers. We're going to create an event. We hope that people come out and support and donate their beautiful pennies, dollars, whatever it is. We want it all. We just want to make sure that we get to our goal so all of us are able to go.
So when and where is this fundraiser?
Oh, there's so many.
Okay.
For those that really do want to come and help support, I need you to go to our website, lafemmelens.org. Follow us on
Spell
our
that out
Instagram,
for us real quick. LAFEMMELENS. There we go. .com. Just to .org, right?
.org.
Sorry. .org. Just to make sure they got it.
Yes.
I don't want anybody who can't type.
.org. And then of course our Instagram, La Femme Lens. Follow us. We have so many links. We want to make sure that we get to all of our goals. We're creating so many fundraisers. So naming them would just take probably an hour. So we want to make sure that you're able to see everything, get all the details, so you're able to support and make our dreams come true for us to film an amazing story in Paris.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's just like going back to just, my dad's journey and, him leaving Honduras because of poverty and everything that has been happening there, being able to go to these places and just showing that representation and how unashamed we are of it, and also recognizing the privilege that we have, to be there. I just think it's such a powerful image, of representation. And I would say for those who are seeing the current events in the world, if you are in a position of, privilege, please speak up for your neighbors. Allyship is so needed right now. And unfortunately, we do need that validation in order to have our voices heard. So, it's like we're trying to make an impact. But if you can open the door for us, we appreciate it so much.
Ladies, you all are so special. Thank you so much for this interview. It has been a joy. Brenda, Jennifer, Josslyn, thank you guys. Thank you for joining Boarding Pass.
Thank you so much for having us.
No, it's been
Muchas
a pleasure.
gracias.
Thank you. Ooh,
Gracias.
come on, Jayden with the Spanish. I love it. Everybody watching and listen, you already know what it is. Welcome to another episode. You know what it is. We've been in the Inspo Lounge. I am your pilot, Denzel Whitaker.
Joined by your co-pilot, Jayden Choi.
All right, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace. This podcast is made possible with assistance from entertainment and media lawyer Gordon Firemark, who helps film, television, podcast, and digital creators achieve the impact they deserve.
Boarding Pass is a production of IYMS Films, available wherever you listen to podcasts. We hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you did, please share, subscribe, like, and review. We definitely want to hear your feedback, and we always appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.